Nikolai was first today. Good morning and welcome to today's live show. Today is the day after Christmas. Maybe the saddest day of the year. No, it's not that sad. You get to play with all your new toys, right? Hopefully you guys got some good toys. But today we got to get into that technical analysis. We got to jump right back into it. Yes, we are expecting a little bit lower volume, but sometimes people make some decisions after Christmas, right? Gets them feeling good and maybe they make a decision. So we're paying attention to the right things, right? Because we immediately were saying, hey, the weekly expected move is here. Something we should expect is maybe a retest down towards the daily expected move, or even a retest of the breakout area, which happens to have a nice gap here for the SPY. I think that would be fantastic for it to reload for a split second before making the move higher, because if you just try to go straight into this zone, you're most likely going to see a lot of resistance in that liquidity. So reloading at some point can be a good thing. We'll see what happens with it. Some interesting things happening though. Make sure to have your daily expected moves up 604.10 to the upside and 598.50 to the downside. Interesting thing is the SPY does not have the biggest move, but the Qs actually have a decent sized move here. So the Qs actually have a move from 534.62 all the way down to 525.30, and you'll notice this is the resistance we were talking about. There's good resistance in here. This is kind of the first area of resistance, but I think we have an opportunity to go a little bit higher. Maybe we need to reload before we get there, but if we do something like that, we might need to pay attention if that move gives us a sign of weakness. So those are the main things we want to pay attention to. This is a very bullish look, right? The 2 hour just hasn't even gone positive yet, which actually is something to pay attention to as well. If this is a weaker move, right? If we're going to actually see this fully fade down, not able to hold up at the breakout area, and we curl down from here, we could actually curl down on this MACD, and that wouldn't be a good sign. I think that is a little bit less likely. I think these moves look pretty good, and we want to see if these dailies can start crossing up, especially when it comes to the SPY. I think the SPY has really been beaten up a little bit more than the Qs, at least as far as your indicator goes. And so if we're able to cross up, we would target most likely seeing some kind of upward touch of the channel up towards 620. So for the SPY, 620, SPX, maybe 6,200, right? So we're paying attention to that. For the most part today, we do notice Tesla, I believe, trying to make the upward move, right? Trying to cross back up on the daily. The 2 hour crossing up still hasn't happened, but you had all of the swing trade signals right here. And now we're seeing that positivity continue. The most likely thing to happen in positive territory, if this is able to cross today, is to test this high, go make a new one. Amazon, we have a few with this look, guys, where they've crossed up. Now, Amazon has crossed up, so it doesn't mean we can't get a 30-minute pullback or something like that, but it does say, as we are taking back this 5-day, that we need to maybe retest before we actually head higher. We got a new tire? You got a new tire? That's kind of sick. I've never ridden a motorcycle, I'm not gonna lie. I did one of those speedy four-wheelers in at like a farm once, and then they had like a tree, like where you go into a forest and there's like a cutout, and everyone was like, all right, whoever has the fastest time. So I tried to make the fastest time, took a corner, turned the corner way too sharp on my four-wheeler going real fast, and boom, flew off and went headfirst into a pine tree, had blood running down my face. But I was like, nothing happened, it's all right, guys. And I just had blood pouring down my face. God, it was fun though, I tell you what. Good morning. Did you have your good morning poo? Is that what it is, David? David's on the toilet right now. He was like, yeah, I just had my good morning poo. Hey Ben, how's it going? I hope you guys had a great Christmas. Merry Christmas, guys. We can keep saying that. I'm down with that. Then we're going to say Happy New Year before you know it. So yeah, we're just I mean, honestly, we just got to see if this keeps remaining bullish, if we keep turning up into positive territory, and we'll pay attention any time that we see a risk management reason there. Let's make some money, yeah. Let's get that $100 bill your grandma gave you. Let's turn that into 200 today, right? 10-year yield in the dollar, let's go look at that. 10-year yield still making the upward move. That's very important. I'm glad you brought it up. The daily still here is crossed. That's a big problem, okay? This is a big problem. And we'll look at the weekly and you're like, hey, that's going positive. That's a big problem. And then you look at the monthly and you go, oh my goodness, if that crosses up, that's going to be bad. And it looks very similar to the dollar. So the main signal is the monthly here. This is why I believe even if we see this rapidly go up, I think we're going to see a dramatic cut from the Fed going forward, but you'll notice that the yields go higher, the market has been going higher, right? So Dixie here, we need to pay attention to if this is able to cross. We do have reversal signals on both the dollar and the 10-year yield at the same time, right? Very interesting that we have these similar signals right here to right here, very similar there. But we'll notice that TLT is showing that in the opposite direction on some shorter time frames. We can look at that later today with the reactions. But the dollar, what you want to pay attention to is if this starts to fall, if this crosses, we have a high likelihood that we're getting that rotation from out of cash into stocks. And that's where we can see a big pump. That's where the pump can really start, where we go to new all-time highs. The only thing is, if that never confirms or it just whips right back up, that could be a trap. So that's what we're paying attention to. I do think SPY to 620 would make some sense in 2025. I'm still leaning towards an all-time high in 2025, but we might need to build that structure now in order to get that. But don't think I'm not going to be paying attention to this and being like, okay, is it really worth it for me to take a call and make money on one trade when there could be traps anywhere in that trade? That's something that I'll have to go through mentally over the next few days and be like, hey, do I really want to hold on to this stuff? Yeah, and the volatility index, yes, it is reacting very interesting right now. The VIX, we just noticed that, look at the month, right? We can look at the month and say, this is why we were paying attention to that week. And we just said, be calm. There's 2 days left. You're at a monthly expected move and look what happens, right? It looks very similar. But notice this, after this big down wick, we actually saw volatility stay in a little bit here. So that's interesting. The main things we need to be paying attention to are the daily, right? The daily, if that can cross down, that would suggest, hey, 1212 is likely. That's where kind of some extreme greed can start to get in, at least in the options. Not necessarily has to be on like CNN or something like that. Now, if you look into the shorter time frames, you got this 2 hour that's still down by the center line. If that curls up, yeah, we can see a pop in volatility. But as you look at the 30-minute, we don't have reversal signals for that, and it's still in negative territory. So if we start to curl down on a 30-minute, we could just start that squeeze. But we also want to pay attention to, hey, what if we fill this, then turn back up? That'd be a double bottom. So this will be a good warning if we make this kind of structure for if that 2 hour is going to curl up, aka a little bit more volatility comes in. A little bit more volatility could mean, hey, we're going to shoot down to this area down here, 194.50 or something like that. So it is good to pay attention to. I don't see like major reversal signals. I'm just seeing, can the daily curl down today? Can the 30-minute make a divergence today? Can the 2 hour curl up today, right? I can keep it pretty simple on those three little spectrums. That's exactly why. Yeah, and it is cheap. That's why I think someone came in 2 days ago and said, hey, I'm just starting to build my short position. And I'm like, hey, yeah, I mean, if that's something you want to do and you find your key points and you know your strategy of how to build a position, it's not necessarily doing anything to build my position at this point. The only thing is we are retesting exactly where we said we would go retest, right? We said we would go retest the breakout area or breakdown area. And a lot of people thought I was crazy for saying, this is going to get back above 600, but that's the point. We're back above 600 right now in the pre-market below it. If we can keep 600, I think you'll probably see a move that attempts to get past all of this up here. So we're just chilling. We're retesting exactly where we thought we would retest. We probably did that in the extended hours a little bit better. Notice that. Look at the retest, like a perfect retest with this wick, pretty much right above the weekly expected move. And we drop off. Yeah, you take the extended hours into it, and you kind of see that 30 minutes dip down. I like to see it in regular trading hours, but at least for a position, I can pay attention to it. But overall, it's like, okay, well, this still looks bullish, and this might just be an opportunity, right? It's positive. So if this can curl back up, it's an opportunity. If it curls down on a 2 hour, that's where you start to go, okay, we might be building a stronger base, or we might not. We might be falling out. So it means the signals look good going into today, and I can react. It's pretty fun. I play UVIX. Okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's good. You're like, all right, I'm going to buy UVIX. All right, big upward move. Now I'm going to buy SVIX and sell UVIX. Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense too, Ben. That makes sense too. Build liquidity, right? Now, I think you would want to do that a little bit higher up, unless we're just going to see a day where we gap above all this block right here. I mean, it's happened in the past, right? Remember this? I was like, yeah, really, we got to get past that. That's going to be difficult. And then we did with the 30-minute signal, right? So we were able to do it. That's crazy. So you might want to build in here to do that again. Get above these levels. Then you're pretty much a straight shot to 620, I think. Just depends. I think moving sideways would make sense. I don't think that's a bad thing to say. Terry's like, that's what I do. Yeah, you guys should be besties. You guys should be besties, and then next year buy Christmas presents for each other. That'd be sick. Who doesn't like more Christmas presents? Come on. Oh, gosh. Man. Testing out that short sale theory again, and it keeps popping by 500%, but I'm supposed to hold it. Like, my play should be, oh god, I'm supposed to hold it, but it keeps popping by 500%. I keep going, god, I just want to sell it. It's not that much though, that's why I'm just chilling on it. It's more of the next test, so I gotta see if we can catch a bigger move. All right, so the 30-minute here looking all right. Let's go look at some individual stocks. Let's look at Apple. Apple's still screaming to the upside. This is great. You're getting rid of the divergence point here. Okay, awesome. Making another upward move. 2 hours, still what we're paying attention to, kind of flat. About to get rid of that divergence point there. That would mean that Apple can go nutty. Tesla, we want to pay attention to the fact that that's trying to curl up on a negative bar right now. It could reload here, right? Things can reload. We can always go retest the 5 real quick. That happens plenty of times, right? During these runs. Actually, Tesla more so doesn't like to do that too often, but we see these little dips where you get down like this. And I think that's kind of something we're looking for. And it's pretty much just cup and handle in here, so now we're looking for probably a similar thing. Now it makes sense to even make that handle now. It makes sense to make the handle here. It makes sense to make the handle here, right? That's your breakdown area. We could see something like this, and then you got a big little move here. Then you can get up towards maybe 515. Very, very quick estimated move there. What do I think about the pre-market action of GME? I think it's a good sign. I think the real signal was a couple days ago, though, right? We were talking about this a lot over the last, actually probably a couple of weeks. We were like, as this is building, it's just, does the daily cross up? You need daily momentum. If you noticed on GME, the 30-minute crossed down towards the end of the day. Now, this has shifted. This 9 on the 30 has shifted. Originally, your 9 was like this, right? So that means to me, hey, these aren't necessarily sell bars yet. They aren't the perfect sell bar. And so when something has a very good chance of curling up on the daily, especially something like GME that you want to see go nuts, it's by the move and all that, I want to give myself a great reason to sell it. And the great reason to sell it would be a negative bar, maybe even crossing below the 5. That didn't happen. So now you have 30-minute momentum with you, 2-hour momentum with you, and daily momentum with you. It's the recipe for success. And you're seeing it boom. And I think that's great. It's kind of a late reaction to the tweet from yesterday. Weirdly enough, I told my friends a couple days ago, I go, watch, Roaring Kitty's going to post a Christmas present or something like that. He's going to say Merry Christmas or post a Christmas present because of the what's in the box thing I just told them. He's probably going to post a Christmas present on Christmas and everyone's going to lose their mind. He's not going to say a word, or he's just going to say Merry Christmas and not say a word. And then he ended up doing it and all my friends are calling me all day. And I was like, it's not... It's because I've done marketing for like 10 years. I was in marketing for 10 years. So like, I'm like, if I was marketing Roaring Kitty, I would tell him to do that. So it was just, I think that's why it clicked for me. And then when it happened, I just laughed and told my wife. It was just really funny. But it's a good sign. Like, it really is. And the reason that it is I believe the volume wasn't bad from the morning either, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see how much volume you got in here. You got, actually, let's do a 2 hour. That way we can see some good bars here. It's not the best, actually. 68. I was hearing reports of like 800K volume. Maybe that's in dark pools or something. Because that's not the best, but that one is. So let's just, does this remain the same? You know, does nothing change from this? If nothing changed from this, then the price should continue to go up. But just note, this is where that 32%, this is where the fight really begins. Everyone ignores this all the time. The fight really begins. The fight really begins. Guess what? It's a little bit higher. The fight really begins right here. That's a good push to try to win the fight. But you did see some borrowing of shares immediately come out. Is it still squeezable? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. Do you want me to give you levels for how high it could go? I can't do that. It's just not plausible. I think when I measured it out, it was 129. Actually, I need to move this to about 129. That was the measurement. Somewhere around 129. I measured it this morning, actually. So, but it's like, you have to understand the game you're playing. You have to understand. And that's why I talk about managing risk and position size and stuff like that with these stocks, okay? Because if you're not doing that and you think the problem just has to come to light, it has to squeeze right now and stuff like that, you can really convince yourself to make some bad plays, But overall, if you were trading this based on momentum, you're happy, right? Hey, we called that there was a 2-hour double bottom divergence and it even showed up on the daily chart right in here. And then we ended up going up for the next couple of months. And all you had to do was say, hey, that curled up on the MACD and went positive finally, right? It didn't do that for a long time. Crossed up, went positive, bullishness. Awesome. You go like this, you go like this. We see 2-hour divergence. You go, let me sell one of those positions. Okay, awesome, that confirmed. Let me sell one of those positions, make money. And then you see it, hey, maybe curl up on a 2-hour again, and you start going, okay, when's this thing gonna go positive? This is kind of a accumulation area now because you're holding it really, really well. You never lost those lows. And then you're just looking for the break. You got the break. This is exactly how you want it to go, actually. Like, this is very, very good. And if you really look at it, yeah, we had some violations in here, but if you really look at it, where are we reacting to? Well, we're getting up towards these highs, and then you're building right before, and then you cross up. What is the most likely thing to happen if you remain crossed up? Well, it's to burst through and probably have some sort of measured move here. It's just not the perfect cup and handle, I would say, so I wouldn't want to call it that right now. But it does look good as far as how a stock should move, right? I know it's more sporadic and things like that, but overall, you built back up, you held those higher lows up to this area, you curled back down to 28.35, the great support level for multiple reasons. And then you see that thing, okay, it's crossed up. So the most likely thing is positivity. As long as we can hold all these moving averages, that's what you should expect. Now we, with that better info with the weekly expected moves, we know this is where the fight really begins. That's what you have to understand. AMC is starting to see a little bit of positivity. We were just looking for a simple 30-minute curl up here. And look what you're getting. You're getting a simple 30-minute curl up right here. That's what we're looking for. All right. Just like GME, we want to hold these lows. If we're not going to, you can get a flush, and then we'll pay attention to 2-hour divergences, right? If this is going to be some flush to fake it out. But for now, the 30 minutes curling up, GME seeing a solid move. It's in the fight area, and we'll see if it can burst through. The way that this goes higher, you hold above 35. Last week, it was 32. A lot of people think it's 32 this week. It's a good thing that you're outside of this purple line. That's fantastic. That's really, really good. But just know, 35, there are a lot of call options. All right, so 35 is going to be a big deal. Let's go look at the SPY again. See, no, I just do not assume this will be too much to worry about. Even if we pull back, it might just be a retest of the 5. Tesla, yeah, see, Tesla, what's a Meta doing? Okay, going sideways. See, this one's a little bit sketchy, but it's not terribly close, but it's still close enough. I think this would make a lot of sense going forward. You have the 5 right by that 598.41. Oh yeah, we haven't looked at NVIDIA. Let's check that out. NVIDIA, I think, would benefit from a retest here, and it's kind of giving you those retest signals, right? That's kind of not the best bar. You're getting a rejection from the 9 now. So this would be very nice. And look where that 5 is. It's right there. So if the 5's right here, bam, to the upside. Good stuff. Yeah, I don't see weakness in the chart here. 2 hour. I don't see, that's a good move. I want you to notice though, look where the MACD was the last time you fell. Well, it's at the same level. So you still have to be aware if the 2 hour crosses, that can get ugly. But if the 30-minute just goes to retest, this makes you nervous for a bit and then just doesn't cross or crosses back up into positive territory quickly. That's what I'd be paying attention to. So I think 30-minute chart's the best thing to watch here. See if it can also remain controlled the whole way down for the retest. That would be great. And then you just see, bam. Then you got yourself a little ABC move or something, right? Yeah, the main thing for NVIDIA is daily. Does the daily cross up? Daily crossed up yesterday, or 2 days ago, I guess, right? Not yesterday, 2 days ago. So that would suggest what? Well, we're probably going to go higher than here. That's what it's suggesting. And now that it's crossed, it's like, let me reload before my next big move on a 30-minute. Maybe a 2 hour, but I just highly doubt the 2 hour is able to cross. Volatility, is that still popping? Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think this is something to really be that worried about. The only thing I'm worried about with it is I obviously connected these lows for a reason. Low, higher low, where are we going to go to? Right? Well, if we lose this, that would be a straight shot to 1212. If you can hold it like we are right now, maybe there's some mischievous things about to go down. Do I think that's the most likely scenario? At this moment, no. Maybe we need to look at things like high yield growth. Maybe we need to look at things like the housing sector because that's been really down. That's reacting to the 5-day. And then if that rejects, maybe that's going to cause the market to follow in some way. But mainly we're just chilling. All right, I'm going to stop moving around so much. Gold's a hard read right now. I say I'm not going to move around and then I'm like, I do want to go look at gold. Gold I actually kind of liked here. Great gap up. A lot of gaps in gold right now, but something I liked was the fact that the 30-minute was holding at my 241.04, and we were starting to take back the 5 here. This could just be a simple one like this, right? We go like this, then we make a bottom, and then we go like that, and we head up towards 245, right? If I simplify it, it could just be a little ABC move. It seems right now we're really having trouble getting through this level right here, that 242. 2 hours curled up. Daily curls up, then you got yourself something to do here. Hold on, right here. Wednesday, October 30th. October 30th, and then those continued higher. As this is going higher from December 9th. I just want to see a little bit of the correlation. December 9th was here. We went a little higher. So I don't think gold likes the fact that these yields are up. So gold can start to catch a bid once the yields stop fighting them probably. Which means to me, hey, if these yields turn down, maybe gold does see a pop, which makes total sense because if these yields turn down and the dollar turns down, you got yourself a good signal for gold, right? The dollar coming down means good things for gold. Is the dollar coming down right now? No, so you have to sit and be patient, and maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't, you know? Yeah, that's why we wait for the signals to tell us, because it's hard to make a decision, but it's easy to make a decision if you go, oh, that crossed up. Sorry, I'm itching my leg. P for patience it is. Yeah, you just got to see how these things are playing out. Now, you can go into shorter time frames on the dollar and be like, okay, the 4 hour, am I seeing this? Okay, well, what's the problem with the 4 hour right now? You don't necessarily have anything that says this has to reverse down right now. Look at the last time you actually got a reversal. What'd you have? You had this, 4 hour, 4 hour, 4 hour. What do you have now? Nothing. So maybe this does need to see a move up. We're going to see a little bit of selling come in, and then we see this. That will be a good signal that the dollar's about to drop off and maybe gold's about to catch a bid, right? These type of things in here, these type of things in here, right? Something like this right over here. Something like this right over here. Big move. Pretty decent pullback, crosses up. Big move, pretty decent pullback, crosses up, right? Now, if that doesn't cross back down though, we might have the dollar curling up on the monthly scale, and that will be a sketchy signal going into 2025. Is this PCC open right now? No, we've got like 2 minutes left in that. I really want to see how people are positioned. If it's super towards the call side, then that makes total sense why we're kind of backing off right now. If we're really towards the put side, I think even that would make that'd make a little less sense. $16. I do want to check on. I kind of want to check on the futures for the Russell though. Okay. Okay, that hasn't crossed yet. I was really paying attention if this 2 hour was going to cross in the morning here. 25 minutes left, but it looks like a retest of the 5. Just very interesting. Maybe we will head up a little bit here towards the top of our zone. If we can break out of there, it'd be a good sign. See if that can cross. All right, Qs have the bigger range. Let's go here. And we're going to be chilling for a little bit, and I'll look at stuff on my other screen if you guys have questions. Yeah, keep an eye on it. For us, if you could, actually. It is something good. It's a good little thing to pay attention to. I still mainly just want to be watching signals in like regular stocks and the SPY and the Qs. Just because the structure here doesn't look like terrible. But I'm aware of the macro signals. So I think it's just very important. Are you going to see those signals in the indices for the SPY and the Qs? You don't have to see it. I don't know if anyone missed this, but you don't have to see reversal signals in every single stock at the same time to get something bad, right? You'll see them in the SPY and the Qs, and then you'll see them in a couple others, like maybe Nvidia or Apple or a couple big ones, but it won't be on all of them. And the main thing with that is just like, we're pretty much at the point. Is this going to be a retest of the breakdown area and fail? Or, meaning the SPY, or is this going to be able to hold 600 again and we're going to see some kind of squeeze? And that's very simply shown to you by volatility right now, I think. Might be a late reaction. Never know. I haven't looked at XLE recently. Great little bottom though. Yeah, not the best bottom for the 2 hour. So if you wanted to, you can make a 2 hour stronger bottom. But that's a this hasn't seen a reaction in a long time. This probably does get a reaction somewhere. Probably to retest at least 87.71. But you want to make sure that 30-minute looks good. 2 hours looking good. If that 30-minute rolls down, that's probably still bad from where it's at right now. So XLE, you're looking for some kind of daily push. And notice these times over here, where you really start to break down. You keep breaking down over time. So most likely we're going to keep breaking down over time. And then you're going to see something like this, which is just triple divergence, right? A little bit wonky on this one, but you can see it pretty plain and simple from the RSI. Crosses up, goes positive, and boom! Don't you want to see a move like that? Wham! So we'll see. Why is XLE about to go nuts? Maybe they're about to cut the shit out of some rates. Because this is reacting majorly down while the rates have been reacting majorly up. So probably when they react majorly down, you're going to see XLE go majorly up. We'll see. But I don't think that's good enough to call it a floor yet. I'd like to see it on a 2 hour. It does have the 30 minutes, so you got a shot, but I wouldn't say a high probable one just yet. PLTR, Palantir's just been going nuts. The thing with Palantir that's a little risky is I think it was on the SEC filings. I'm gonna go double check before I talk about it. PLTR. Yeah, very no buy orders on the insider side of things. And I can go all the way. I can keep going back, but this is from last November, is as far back as I'm going right here. I see not one buy order. Sale. So, I mean, if we think about it that way, it's like Insiders aren't holding Palantir up is what it would make me assume. There is something I need to check here. See my mouse moving back and forth. There you go. Okay. Awesome. See, this is why we pay attention to these things. This is why having a hint about these things is so good. We talked about the 2-position thing with GME. Look at that. We have better information over here. Just a little bit. It's enough to help us out. All we do is do some math, and then we go, okay, we need to hold above that line today. Hold above that line, maybe good things happen. We start to cross back down on this 30-minute, though. They might have won the suppression of the stock. And, I mean, GME goes up. Bitcoin made a great floor and then randomly sold off for no reason. All right, people are probably going to make up reasons, but I think that reason is it's been being used as liquidity. I think it's majorly being used as liquidity right now for GME. Because whenever you see these bigger pops like this, like even this or this, what happens in Bitcoin? Big flush, right? Big flushes, big flushes, big flushes. So it's just like, okay, cool. You made a great base and you're going to give it all up. So look at that 4-hour crossing. Is that a good sign or a bad sign? It's a bad sign. But if this can go like that, maybe it'll be good. We just want to watch out in case that is some kind of double top, because that could be a little bit deeper. Probably take you all the way down to something like 87.3K. So we'll see if that can whip back up in the next hour. Or maybe it's a false curl down, right? Maybe it's like a false breakdown, and then it curls back up. And this is some kind of, We'll see. 2-hour would have to tell us that, though. 2-hour would have to curl back up. So now you know what you're reacting to. You're like, all right, 4-hour crosses down, I got to be careful. 2-hour turns up, I got to say, okay, that could be the next positive move higher. So even if the 4-hour crosses down now, and then you see it go like that, and then the 2-hour crosses back up into positive territory, you have to lean towards the bull side in this type of thing. But one thing with Bitcoin that you want to pay attention to is if this is going to confirm itself as a lower high, that's a big problem. So I want to pay attention because this daily is by the center line. But that's going to be a problem if you start going like this, and then you go like that, and then you go like that, then you get a big move, and you come down, right? We'll see how it shapes up. VIX 9-day, popping! Still curling down, but on a positive bar. DJT positive, GME positive. Wow, everything else really negative except for some of the memers out there. Thought Mara had a decent look. Maybe I'm wrong. Thought Mara had a decent look down here. Yeah, it did. It had the rejection. But we didn't like the look on the RSI. That's right. So we were looking for that next reaction that might go to 1873. That would be a good look. Right before the weekend. All right, let's go to the Qs. Oh my goodness, Christmas week is stressful. Oh, it's so much to do. Nobody told me that being a dad would be so much work. We haven't talked about it today. We can go look at it. My chart is parabolic. AVGO, yeah. Someone asked about this at the end, right? At the end. The only thing I didn't like about this is it's super controlled. That looks like a flag to me. Just an extended flag on a 30-minute, 2-hour flag, if you will. It's a little bit controlled. But if you really look at it, it's trying to round out, it's trying to curl up. You might be in a reload moment, right? We're still above the 5, pretty positive, not bad. 3.5 is not bad. And then you want to see, hey, well, if this curls down, maybe with the environment of everything right now, we just had that waterfall sell. Maybe you treat it seriously. You're like, I'm out. I'm back in. Because where you're at right now, and not a lot of people would think this, but where you're at right now is a great reaction. This is a great place to get, and you're building, building, building. You can curl down like this and curl back up. It's a good spot. It's not bad. If you can't curl back up, that's a problem. That's why you just go, okay, it's risky to hold this if this is crossing down, but once it crosses back up, it actually has good structure. And then if it's going to keep crossing down, well, then this 2 hour is going to reject, and you're probably seeing an ABC move here. This is a very sketchy measured move, but so I'd say the bottom here where gap support comes in. Holy candle! Which candle? Watch too much Married with Children to ever become a dad. Oh, that's funny. I was on it the whole time. It's exactly where we said resistance should come in, and it's coming in. And it's not even us saying it, it's us just being like, hey, we know how to do math. That's great. Now we have to see if we can get something crazy. A short squeeze will be something crazy, right? So this right now makes total sense. This means maybe no short squeeze. Once you do this, if you can, that'd be a good sign. I'm just surprised how much like DIA and how much IWM kind of suck. Like they're just awful. They're just not performing very well. Which is interesting to me. Yeah, QQQs are on your chart right now, Kalani. They're on your screen. Sorry, not on your chart. I don't know what you're looking at, but I got the Qs right here. 1, 2, and 4 hour chart have a head and shoulders set up on SPY. Oh yeah. So yes, that's kind of a reason we're paying attention still to the potential to reject from the breakdown area, right? Yeah, I mean, yes, you do have it. And the bad part about this, by the way, the actual reason that this is kind of a sketchy look, if this would cross down, is where is that head and shoulders taking place, right? Well, it's head and shoulders taking place. By the time that actually breaks, where are you going to be? You're probably, I mean, even if you move in a similar time frame fashion, right, like this, let's say something like that, and we put that over here, and we go, oh, okay, so we're going to break that channel, right? Because of this sideways action here, you got closer to the right side of the channel, which is just interesting to me. And then we can break that. So it is a time to pay attention. I just want you to notice how, you know, we don't see any bearish signals just yet. If we get rejection, it'll show us on like 2 hour charts and things like that. And we have to be patient for those things. A short squeeze early on, I mean, I'm not saying this has to short squeeze, I'm just saying it's high potential right now. But a short squeeze early on will give you these little signals like, hey, I'm going to turn down, hey, I'm going to then you're going to see a gap up or something one day, or just, you know, that slow trickle up buying for 3 days in a row, and you're going to get rid of those signals. So we're just watching. Massive delusion in lenders to take all Bitcoin connected to Sailor. Oh, God. Searching for the short entry. Yeah. What did MSTR end up doing? All right. I mean, it's okay, I guess. It's coming down. I mean, what you want to look for is the daily curl up, right? Let's keep it simple here and just say, hey, if that daily curls up, more positivity. But very likely that after all of this is done in a year or two, you're going to hear about Michael Saylor probably doing some more fraud again. So, hey, how can I convince everyone to buy into my stock and make me filthy rich after losing a bunch of money in 2000? Oh, I could probably just buy some Bitcoin with the stock money, or with the company money and not my own money, to really have no risk, and then I could sell shares and people aren't even going to care. I wonder if I can look up his filings. All right, well. Sale to issue and sale. Okay, so in the past, since the beginning of 2024, it seems Saylor has not bought like 1 share of his own stock. Okay, grant word acquisition pursuant to rule, dispose of your shares. Okay. Yeah, a lot of those are Form D, so I wanted to make sure, but yeah, I'm not seeing any. Let me make sure I don't have I have purchases selected. All I'm seeing are a bunch of filing, like D filings, and then I'm seeing a lot of sales. But not recently. Just so you're aware, not recently. Like, I don't want to tell you guys something that make you think something. This is not recently. The last time it seems Michael Saylor did something like this, it was April of 2024. So a pretty decent amount of time ago. Seems like he's holding ever since. At least whatever he has. Oh God, Ben, I'm scared. Oh God. I bet a new video of him coming out saying we're gonna think about buying even more Bitcoin here, and then his stock's gonna pump. That would be that seems to be the strategy now for a lot of companies. Sorry, this chair's next to me. My buddy was here showing him some stuff, and forgot to move the chair back. And I only have a nice chair in my office. Everyone else has to sit on wooden chairs. So yeah, there you go. So GME kind of giving up everything here. Now, this isn't like a bad sign. This is a great sign to show the positivity that can be there. And if that daily's remaining up, I'm not selling anything, right? I'm chilling. Because we could just hold up like this. And then remember, Monday, Tuesday are when you see big things. The reason that this is a problem today and why I keep pointing it out, the fight, is just because 35 is the key level, I think. 32.79 is what they really don't want to close above, but they can because 35 is the big call wall. At least I need to double check, but right now that was it as of yesterday. And now you're seeing it come down. But remember, big moves happen on Monday, Tuesday. Right? They're not going to happen on Thursday, Friday, most of the time, right? If they do, that would be awesome. But if there's no news, anything like that to project this higher into Friday, a lot of the time you're going to see that come down and look for max pain or something like that. Ooh, we're not looking too bad. SPY really looking like it wants to squeeze. Oh yeah, PCC. Okay, so to the call side, so it does make sense. It makes more sense for us to be dipping down to a daily expected move, trying to get some bearishness in. But you'd really like that as this dips down, as the PCC goes to the call side. I think you still would want the dollar dropping down here, and then you'd slowly want to see that PCC rise up. And so we might see a scare. We might see another little like scary bar or something like that. RGTI I really do like. I've shouted out this stock like 10 times over the last few weeks. I like this stock. I don't like where it's at now. I was mentioning it. Oh, I was mentioning it after the big push, and I was looking for that pullback. So I actually started mentioning it here. It wasn't too long ago. But that's kind of what I was looking for. I'm watching out for the reversal here, watching out if the 30-minute shows reversal here. I don't think you really have it just yet. You do have it all the way across, but we might be able to get rid of that and see some positivity. Still waiting for the opportunity. I think the daily is going to pull back here, and then I'm going to get an opportunity with this. I think we're going to get a mean pullback. I think we get a mean pullback, maybe down to 7, but maybe all the way down to the big breakout area, which I think is 341. And I think that would be great. So I am keeping my eye on it. I'm just making sure it sets up a great opportunity for me. Yeah, well, Jeffrey, you could say that, and then you also say, well, look at AI. Are AI companies making tons of money? Because supermicro computer, hardware maybe, but like supermicro computers just got in trouble because they were calling things wrong, like they were putting things incorrectly or falsifying things in their report, right? Their audit. And so there's been a lot of rumors for like a year now. There's been rumors that Nvidia was doing that. They were putting their forward revenue as real revenue on their books. Like, that's been said for a long time by people way smarter than me, okay? Way smarter than me. So I'm not sure yet, but I'm more so saying people more buy on the prospect of this can make money. This can make money, right? Yeah, there you go, Jeffrey. I think we're on the similar page at least, right? We're on similar pages here where it's just, you know, people will buy into something they see is an opportunity, and if it's not making money, they're like, oh, then it's definitely lower. It's valued too low, and once it does actually make money, it's going to be at crazy prices, right? They can convince themselves in a million ways. It doesn't matter this year, but most of them are selling Nvidia chip to China with 10x price tag. Jesus. 100% cash interest in hearing your long-term growth ideas. I was thinking of VIA or the QQQ right now. If you're thinking of QQQ right now and you're sitting 100% in cash, so I'm going to assume you want maybe to not stare at charts all the time, right? Growth, and you want growth. Well, the problem with, say, growth right now is you could look at tech and be like, hey, those are growth opportunities most of the time, right? You could look at still the AI trade. You could look at quantum computing. You could look at a lot of areas and say, hey, growth. Okay, I'm looking for growth, meaning I want good percentages, probably from some kind of tech stock. So what I just look at here is still the monthly chart, guys. Keep it in perspective. If I am looking for an opportunity for growth over a longer period of time, I just have to pull up this chart and know, hey, this is most likely not the right time, right? Very plain and simple. Very plain and simple, all right? And there's a reason for that, and it's just everyone's going to tell you time in the market is better than timing the market until it's not, okay? And I think this is good to kind of talk about for a second here. If we really look at, like, let's do a 6-month chart. If we do this, and let's say all the way back to 1999, we'll take 1999. Well, since then, you notice that we're growing like exponentially. And once we see a blip, we go exponentially better, right? We keep that same upward push. Well, I want you to understand why the debt crisis is a huge deal. Okay, so imagine you have $100. Let's say I have $100, and I have $100 that are in existence, and then this goes up to $100. Okay, that's at $100 right here. Well, if I wanted more than $100 and I take out credit on that $100 to say, hey, I want to get that up to $1,000. Okay, well, now you would have to say, all right, all of this right here can now be multiplied times 10. And so you might end up at a level of, well, let's say 40, you might end up at a level of 400, right? Say 400. All right, awesome. So now we're at 10 times that value. But here's the big problem. Now we're higher than that. I just want to take this into consideration here. So do you actually have $1,000 cash? Technically, yeah. But is that debt? Or is that real cash? So that's the big problem in our market right now. And it's gone on for years and years and years, probably before you were born, right? It's just gotten exponentially bigger because eventually you start to, it's kind of like that scene from Mario Brothers. Mario Brothers, when they go in and there's one little spot that starts to spout water, and then another spot that starts to spout water, and then another spot, and then a freaking cat or something comes in or dog comes in and attacks them. Well, that could be your black swan moment or something like that. That could be something random. But more so, you just want to understand that all of this is held up by majority fake money at this point. And if you understand that, you understand how things move, right? We understand then that the most likely thing to happen is if Trump really wants to get rid of all of the fakeness and stuff like that, everything that's been corrupt for a long time, technically the market will do this. He doesn't want that to happen. So what's more likely to happen? Nobody has the balls to actually do that. If he did, I would clap for him, but geez, we are going to go into some pain. I think what's more likely to happen is we're going to see something like this, and then they're going to save the market again, and the problem continues. I just don't think... I think it would be silly of me to assume that President Trump, who also did some kicking of the can, let's just be honest here, I voted for the guy, but he also kicked the can as well. Let's just be honest and say, is it more likely that every single president in history has already made money pumping happen again? The Fed has always done money pumping and things like that to save the economy. Is it more likely for them to do that again, or is it more likely for them to stop? It's probably more likely for them to do it again. Now, if they actually get rid of the Fed and do all those things, I think they're underestimating how much that will actually reflect in stocks. And how I talk about this with my family is, I think that all the tech that we have today, we were supposed to build, but I think because of our debt system that allowed us to do it very quickly, I think that's why humans have a very rough time right now. I think we weren't ready for a lot of this technology and it came too fast. So we didn't really assess the problems, right? We didn't assess the fact that maybe children should not be on social media. We didn't assess the fact that they could have serious mental issues from it, right? But the debt system allowed us to produce smartphones like that. And then new smartphone. Look at AI. Now it's in every phone. Now it's everywhere. So I'm looking for that opportunity, though. Either way they want to play the game, I'll play the game. If they want a money pump, you know exactly what to do. You know what to do? If you start to see money pumping... Here, I'll show you. You want to see what they do? If you see a rapid crash, and then they say, oh, we're doing stimulus or some kind of thing like that, or the Fed comes out and says we're going to raise the money spot, blah, 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 blah. That was 2020, right? So if they're going to do that again and we see some kind of rapid crash down and then they go, we need to cut the rates and all that stuff, that's probably why this is going to happen. We go into a bad period of time and then they go, oh, we need to save this. We need some money pumping. Okay, then just pay attention. How you're going to find that is, look at this. The monthly cross down, the monthly cross back up into positive territory. The monthly cross is down, the monthly cross is back up into positive territory. The monthly cross is down, the monthly cross is back up into positive territory. That's all you really have to do. I know that sounds very, very simplistic, but it's kind of the truth. Once you experience one of those terrible moments, it probably means, hey, watch if that thing crosses back up, look for weekly divergence like you had right here. Right here you had weekly divergence. That's why this was such a good opportunity. So we'll see what happens going forward. All right, that was my speech for the day, I guess. QQQ more downside? Sure. If it wants to. Yeah, Eric, I was trying to give you a good spiel because it's kind of a not necessarily a loaded question. It's just a question that can go in a bunch of different directions. So I try to make it as simple as possible, right? If you're someone who can have the benefit of patience with you, if you're someone who doesn't have to stare at charts all day, Just be like, all right, I don't need to make money on a crash. It's going to be very hard to call. They can always pump more money in. So, but is this a good opportunity right now? You might miss out on a, 10% move higher from the Qs, but it might save you from experiencing a 50% loss in your investments over time. But there is something going on, man, and I notice it with my older family members. They're just like, well, my 401k is always going up if I just hold the thing, and it's always going up. It's all, and I just go, yeah, until it doesn't. If they actually come in and stop the Fed and stop this money pumping, then you could see some things tear down really, really fast. Whoa. All right, Tina. IWM trying to go positive here. Daily? Sorry, I called it Tina. I was looking at TNA. Exactly, and I think it's because people, these politicians, they care more about, and it sucks because the average American won't understand the debt crisis in any way. Like, they won't understand it at all. And all you have to do is, everything makes sense if you go back down to the average person and you just put it in terms of, you have a credit card, you have this amount of money, you have a credit card, and then you have a system that allows you to always just keep racking up more debt. It's like, yeah, then everyone would be rich if that was the thing. You could always buy anything you want, always, right? So I'm just, I'm pretty critical about the debt. I don't think that it's great for people who are probably over the age of 40 right now. I think it was great for you. And now you're reaching that point where it's like, okay, well, I have my $100,000 house I bought 20 years ago. All right, I have that house. It's now worth $500,000. And I have a 3% rate. It's like, all right, well, right now the average house is $400,000, and what is it, $400,000 or something like that when you take into consideration big cities. And the average rate right now, I believe, is 6.67, 6.71. I don't know, I could go look, but it's just like, so younger generations won't be able to reap the benefits that were once there. Now, it's not to say that this can't be fixed. I'm not smart enough to figure out how they fix it without causing some kind of turmoil, at least in the stock market with 401k. You're talking about a period of time where if they stop these things, they could ruin everyone's 401k. That's crazy to me. Can you take a look at Apple? Got a daily topping tail. Apple, I am kind of like, hey, Apple, you're really looking like you need to tap out, at least for the daily pullback, right? The daily pullback's all I'm looking for here. Look at the 2 hour. We're still paying attention to this signal. This signal is still the important one. We want to see, is it violating? No. Is it violating? No. Okay, awesome. So I can still watch this. If I have a 30-minute signal, I can pay attention, but I don't really have one, right? Which means this actually could still have more time, right? This still could have more time to do this, and then do this, and then do this, but I would really be watching this closely. This I'd be watching very closely. Right now, this says, I'm going parabolic. If it changes, that's where you gotta change. Well, then that's probably, that sounds, you know what that sounds like, Suri? That sounds like a headline. And if that sounds like a headline that sounds like a very good one for markets that get people bullish, then it's probably going to happen. So I'm going to say right now, I think Apple gets to 263 then, if that's the point where it hits 4 trillion. But I don't know if that's right now. We could need that daily pullback first, right? But I think that that'll happen maybe in 2025 then. Sounds like a title that they would use to get you bullish, right? So probably that. It means maybe I could pay attention for the opportunity. You look at UNH. Oh, is this United Healthcare? And thank you so much for the $5, Justin. Really appreciate that. 2 hour, not the best reversal signals, but some decent structure that looks a lot like the DIA and IWM right now, actually. So very good here. Kind of a lackluster move, though, from this. So we're noticing this. And then you wanted that to break out and catch that steam, but you're kind of doing this. So that's a little worrisome, right? So if that starts to break through the 5, I would be a little bit cautious. You can always see if that whips back up. It's kind of whipping up into positive territory right now, so that's a good sign. You just want to be aware if that changes. So let's pull up the 2 hour. 2 hour looks like it's reaching up, trying to go positive. Anytime the 2 hour curls down, just know, hey, they might be making a stronger base, because when we pull out the daily and we look at this, this looks like a great support level, right? We looked at this a few days ago. That's why I remember the support here a little bit. But more so, I just want to see, hey, is this a good signal to maybe go retest the 200? And then I'll pay attention to signals up here, because this is a very deep MACD. Very, very deep. I want to show you something right here. Look at these times where the MACD got a little bit deeper, just a little bit deeper, not even down here, just a little bit deeper. What'd you do? You react up, you fail. You get deeper than that, you react up, you fail. That's the negative trend continuing. And it wasn't until you were able to fully go positive that that could keep curling up, right? That curled up again into positive territory. So that's going to be key to understand going forward and say, what is the positioning of my MACD right now? Does it have a higher probability of going positive right now or staying negative? Well, staying negative. So I'd be watching the structure here. If that can start to go positive, fantastic. You know what I mean? But I would really just look over here and say, do we have structure that's really, really good to make a great upside move? Look at that, all that liquidity. Well, now we want to say, do we have that here? Not really. Now, it doesn't mean it can't V-shape. It just means the higher probable thing to do is maybe get a higher low at some point, right? Or maybe even curl down to make a divergence. That's how I see it. You don't have weakness, but if this 2 hour crosses down, you got to be able to manage the trade. Yeah, it needs more liquidity. It can V-shape. You can always play the daily curl up if you're confident with managing risk. That's why we have the courses, especially on sale right now before the weekend starts. Hopefully you guys have some off time for Christmas. Maybe you got some new headphones and you're ready to go take that course. Maybe you got a new notebook and you're ready to go take that course. Hey, well, you can get it as cheap as it's ever going to be. We're going to run this sale every single Christmas, okay? Which means you're going to have to wait 12 months to get it back at this price, but that's okay, right? There's always going to be an opportunity to learn. I'm always going to be here on YouTube, and hopefully you can take something away from that if you're not able to get the course at this time. But those are down in the description. Both of them super, super cheap right now. All right, good. We're still holding. Nothing crazy. Someone talking about volatility. Yeah, I'm just not seeing big enough pops there for me to be convinced. IWM actually went positive there. That's great. That's great. No, I don't have the correct weeklies up for this week. I have to go look that up real quick. GME still fading below the move that we were looking at. And I have it for IWM over here. This is where I got it. Yeah, so just so you're aware, IWM is outside of a monthly expected move downside. So that means by the end of December, which is coming up rather quickly, you could be on the IWM above 228. Yeah, 228. And it's a late bloomer here, which is very interesting. I think it's just sitting, and like, when's that positivity going to come in? When are we going to see that rotation to the small caps? When are we going to see a bunch of people go into that? When are we going to see them go nuts? Hey, it might be very soon, but it would lean towards the squeeze trade. Because think about it, SPY's going, Qs are going, right? If we look at this, we're like, man, SPY's went, Qs went, DIA kind of went. But what's lagging behind? IWM. If IWM starts to participate here, we can start to squeeze. I would assume that means those rates are going to come down eventually, but It's kind of weird for IWM to see a massive squeeze if rates hold up higher. Let me see here. No, nothing interesting there. Damn, Daniel. Sorry, what? Oh, that's what I wanted to do as well. If you guys want me to look for some option levels for some stuff, now's kind of the time. For today, 605 on the SPY. Put call ratio is like spot on. So 600, if we can hold above that, we're pretty straight shot to head to 605. If we can really hold that sturdy for the day. I'm going to do, oh wait, I wanted to do the end of the week though, because there's not a ton of volume in the there is for Friday. A lot of put options for Friday. Holy crap, put wall starting at 600 for Friday. I don't think you want to lose 600 then. And then 605, but yeah, you have a lot of puts in there. 410,000 OI compared to 363,000 OI for calls. So you got a 10% difference there. Decent amount of puts. Okay, but I wanted to check on small caps real quick. And I know I'll get to the chat in one moment. Wow, someone with some YOLO puts on IWM today, 195. Yeah, that's pretty far off. I don't know. I bet they sell those early in the morning or something like that. And for tomorrow, wow, huge amount of bullishness coming in for IWM. Put to call ratio of 0.3255. Total amount of puts, open interest, 90.6K. The call open interest is 278.5K. So you have a huge difference there. And that is up towards 242 is your major call wall. Your first call wall is 225. So look at IWM, look at 225. Yeah, that's held pretty well below that. So you start to break above 225, you can see some kind of run, most likely to like, you could go all the way to 240. I don't know if that's gonna happen this week. Yeah, that would be way too up, way too fast probably for this week, but hey, we'll consider it. Dixie took a few red candles. Yeah, we're just seeing, we're just waiting, right? Seeing if this thing can curl down on the daily chart. 2 hour, it's not really looking too strong. See if we get any hints from the 4. We could make the upward move. We could fail this right now. Just want to see daily curls down or the 4 hour curls up. And then we kind of know at least the move for the next shorter, I would say, period of time. Better idea. YOLO Tesla. Rug pull for sure coming like last week. Give yourself that 1%, okay? Secure opening. I'm sure you probably have plenty of reasons. I think you do have plenty of reasons. Plenty of reasons. But just give yourself that 1%. That way you're not, hey, yeah, this has to fall down. All right, give yourself that 1% just in case they do something funky to you. You're noticing the PCC. What's it starting to do? It's starting to climb just a little bit. Dollar's starting to roll just a little bit. Volatility is not popping. It's actually, if you look at this on the daily, where to touch? Right up towards the 200. If this crosses down, it's very likely we are going to see a squeeze. If it curls down on the daily, very likely. That is a signal that we've followed for the last year. Ever since I started the channel, we've talked about those type of things. So change it, secure opening. Just say a rug pull is extremely probable. that helps you, at least in your talking out loud, it helps you just think extremely probable. Doesn't mean that going up is improbable. No. It means there is a possibility, but that possibility seems lower than something falling. Not until 610. Yeah, I think 610 will be a good level, but this is the first level. 600 in stuff like that. 600, 601, this breakdown area is the first level. If we get through this, then yeah, 610, maybe even up to 620. Pull AMC up with you. Give it time. Give it time. I'm telling you, it's Thursday, Friday. I mean, this would be awesome if some news release. This is where you want like real news to release, not just a roaring kitty tweet. Like you want news to release on this. That would be fantastic. News being Roaring Kitty's portfolio. Roaring Kitty does an assessment of the stock live. Those type of things can get people more information for reasons to be bullish on the stock. That's what can really cause buying. Just seeing a Christmas present, I was like, watch, people are going to go nuts when they see a Christmas present. And then they do. And everyone's trying to figure it out. I'm just like, he probably is just doing a what's in the box, which is fine. We try not to tell people what to do with their money. It's their money, and they need it now. We just try to talk about what the indicators are saying on a certain stock, try to learn how we can get into positions, maybe out of positions, how to manage risk, and that's it. I'm not saying, Reese, I'm not saying it looks bad. No, I actually think, what do you have? You have the recipe. 30-minute positive and positive territory. 2-hour, positive and positive territory. Daily, positive and positive territory. This is the best it's looked, and that would tell you if this is the best it's looked in a long time. Since when? Like, since when? Well, for a long period of time. So if this is the best look we got, this was a good look. This right here was a good look. Right? This was the moment where you had everything turned up at the same time. Look what happened. Now you have everything turned up at the same time. That can happen. This is the crazier opportunity, I think. But you have to be aware if that curls down, because that can mean you're going into a dark time, and maybe we're going to use that as a shoulder later or something, you know? Be open. I think it looks great. I'm just like, hey, we're going into Thursday, Friday, so probably don't want those options to close higher up on Friday, so I would assume this, and let me go look at this. Let me go look over here again, because it's important to see these levels, because people have probably added a lot to this. 40, 35, 30. So 30 is a key level. We're already above that. That's a good sign. 32, slight key level. It was weaker than 30, but still good to hold above. The next one is 35. So I think if you do this, if we can hold the buying above this 30 level, the 32 level, I think that's great. And if you can even end up here, even if they smash it below 35, you're looking very good going into next week. That's when you would say high probability to see something crazy next week. I have all the signals. But is it 100% probability? No. Nothing in the market ever is. Treat it that way. That's why managing risk is so important. Let's get back over to the Qs. I'm just scratching my freaking eye. I don't know how I develop freaking eczema on my eye when I'm older. That makes no sense to me. Maybe it's a stress thing. Swear to me. Sorry about that. My bad. ADHD moment. Good morning, Chris. Waiting on the SPY to pick up now. Yeah. Looks like 605 is a key level a little bit. Think quantum. Is this? I don't fucking know. You gotta tell me a ticker, because there's so many freaking things I look at every day. I'm like, someone says quantum, I'm like, which quantum computing stock are you looking at? Sorry, Jeffrey. It's just oh, IonQ. Love it. Love IonQ. I really do. I think this is going to go through some trouble soon. You can really see this. I mean, I would be careful with this. This is what you want to see, though. When things start to go parabolic, okay, awesome. Like, right? This is kind of that, but look at that daily MACD. This is gonna get bad, probably. This is, okay, when you see this, it means this is about to see some parabolic, absolutely insane thing because you're not even overbought anymore. Or just a little bit more probability here that you're going to see this. I'm just being honest. That's what usually this type of look means. It kind of means, hey, there's a shot that you could go like this. It's probably about 40% chance there, but there's like a 60% chance that you could do that, just a little bit more. So maybe I'd position myself in some way like that. It would be like take maybe a small position both directions. But I dig it. I'm not a hater of IonQ. I would just really be paying attention to the shorter time frames and make sure they stay good. Oh. Bro, so cringe. I've been cringe all my life, motherfucker. Is that a Clemson stamp? I hope it is. Kid I trained plays there now. This is the channel, and this is my channel, and I like being cringe. Oh my goodness. Kind of slow. Let me look at other charts. It's a little slow here. IWM. Sick. Pick up, dude. Come on. Come on. Make a move. I need to delete this. I'm playing with stuff on my other chart here. Just really don't want you to be a flag. That's for sure. Keep an eye on. AMC going positive. GME trying to make another move. Very, very good. Peloton broke. 931, then pushed back up to $10. Jesus. Cheese and rice. Sorry. Cheese and rice, guys. Sorry, that was cringe. Oh my goodness gracious. What are the QQQ expected moves? Damn, we've put those up like all day, guys. We put them up in the video last night. Come on, man. Actually, Qs are what we should be watching, though. But you're right. You right. If you know, daily expected moves are always in red, guys. Shebang, shebang. Oh, baby, yeah, she move, she move. Drive me crazy. Oh, sorry, that was cringe. My bad. You're not, you guys, we're not allowed to like be happy and weird after Christmas. It's not allowed. You're supposed to be very serious after Christmas, okay? Oh, dude, the funniest thing about my friends in Japan is when they go out, karaokeing with their new Japanese friends, and she sends me videos of them singing. Oh, it's great. I wish I was there. And God, I just want to scream out lyrics. Rum pumping again? God dang it, N2. Let's go look at it. I want to see that. This is a great move. I should have seen the, oh, that's what I should check. I should check if the short sale theory would have worked with this. Oh, frickin' A. Didn't I check this? It might have. Let me see. Okay, so that triggered very dramatically on December 23rd. right here. So it did trigger here. So that extended move up. Now it's come down dramatically. So that would tell me this has a high probability to fade at some point in the next, I would say, 3 trading sessions. But I like the move. If it remains good with signals, I don't just look at this and make a decision, right? I got to see signals as well. So 2 hour, no. 30 minute, yeah. So 30 minute turns down, you might go for a 2 hour pullback now. Keeping it simple. By the end of the week, I'll tell you what, I'll give you, shoot, they just clamped down on it really fast. Where did we end last week? Here. Okay, so I'm gonna say we end at gap fill, or a little bit lower, 30 to 31. Sound ripping too? Jeez, why is everything ripping on me, man? Well, if everything starts to rip, then yeah, maybe GameStop does see some good shit. 2 hour, right? 2 hour, looking good. I think you could even do hourly here. Hourly crossed up, very, very good. Getting tight, some kind of consolidation, right? Let's take this wick and go bam. I think that's pretty much it. Starting to get that break. I don't mind it. Yeah, that looks really good, honestly. I'd watch out for a trap above that, but hopefully you can get rid of all the divergences that you would create. Then you'd feel pretty confident in the longer term. Yeah, people have been talking in my chat about sound for a long time. For like, I want to say at least like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think it hits 602. I mean, the one thing you would say is we haven't exactly tested the breakdown area, and you have your weekly expected move. You technically haven't even hit that yet. Like the actual point you want to touch is right here, I think, 602.41. So I think it's likely you're going to see that tested. I think it's very likely you're going to see that tested. Either that or we could build liquidity all day today and then people get euphoric and you see that random gap up. That's what can a lot of the time get rid of reversal signals. But right now you're just seeing this is a little bit of a sideways struggle. Sideways is fine though. Build that liquidity, gap up. I just don't know. It's V shapes are just more you want to see like an extreme trap, if you will, on the first curl down. It would mean like this, like if this was like this, and then remember when we started to do this, what did we see in the put call ratio? We saw like a 1.4 in the put call ratio down here. And we were mentioning, hey, you have divergence on the RSI, we're down by a monthly expected move and all that stuff for the SPY. But you saw this, and then you go, okay, V shape, because everyone is trying to pile on puts in a buy zone where people will like to buy. It's just, that's more what I would pay attention to, but I need confirmations still to do anything, right? So the fact that this had the divergence on the RSI and it just rapid curl up here, it wasn't some kind of trail, anything like that. All right, now this makes a move upward, so. I'm not really trying to catch moments like that. I like high probable trades, so I would let that, this is why I let that play out for the most part, see that curl down, and then I get that next confirmation. That's where I feel more comfortable, if I'm being honest. Oh, good, Chris. That's great. Yeah, and so I just don't know if this is some kind of sporadic move to grab liquidity and drop again or something, right? I'm just not someone who likes to buy that dip the first time. I want it to give me the next safer opportunity, which I believe was right here, and then we head up. Gift box tease? Yeah, I mean, maybe he'll show a, maybe he'll show his books. Maybe he'll show his trade. Who knows? Maybe he'll show, hey, I bought X amount. Maybe he'll just talk about the stock. You just never know. The only thing I knew was, you know, kind of an accident, but, you know, I was just like, hey, he tweeted last week. He's probably going to say Merry Christmas or post a Christmas picture of a Christmas present on Christmas. And then he did. I should have said that on some kind of video or something. That would have been cooler. Now I'm not as cool. I'm just cringe. Damn it. Oil still sideways. I know, Maurice. He tweeted today. I don't think so. I would have saw that. The only person I have notifications on for Twitter is Roaring Kitty. The tweet came out December 25th at, I think, like 10 a.m. his time. Yeah, 9 a.m. my time, so 10 a.m. his time. And we have not seen a tweet since. And I'm not really begging for it. Like, I don't really want... I want something better than a tweet, to be just 100% honest. Like, I want someone who wants information. But I understand his game is like, stay legally okay, don't give a lot of information. But I don't see why he can't. I mean, I see why they don't want him to come out and talk about the stock. Like I would, maybe, right? If he would talk like me for an entire day, do you know that stock would... Well, actually, the last time he talked, didn't it get suppressed? But they knew about that. I don't know. It could play out in any way. I'm not really trying to figure out what he's going to do. I just think that that was easy to see he was going to do that. The next thing we want to pay attention to is just, hey, do we have good signals? Only going off articles? No, I have Twitter, and I'm gonna go through my pictures, probably get rid of Facebook and Instagram and stuff. I don't even have an Instagram. I just have one in case I have to check on stuff. Yeah, Reese, that's fine. Yeah, come in and ask, but yeah, I can literally pull it up and it says 9 a.m., which is 10 a.m. my time, or 9 a.m. my time, 10 a.m. his time. He posted on December 25th, a Christmas present. And everyone's reading into it, going, what's in the box? So that's why all my friends were calling me yesterday, like, holy shit, how did you know? I was like, if I was marketing him, I would do that. That's the only reason I was able to figure that out. Did I put a bunch of calls behind GME? No, I was just guessing, so I'm not going to put a bunch of calls behind GME because of a guess, right? I'm going to wait for a good signal, hold on to the stock, chill with my AMC calls until the end of January and be chilling. Gosh, man. AMC, you were just not looking too good. DJT popping off. No one bringing up that. 2 hour crossed up for DJT. But you did have the reversal signal in here. The daily did cross, correct? Okay, so be open to a lower high. That's unfortunate. You're actually going up to that breakdown area right now. Oh, baby. Dang it. I'm gonna have that stuck in my head all day now. Super low volume. Let's go check on some stuff here. Let's look at this, because I'm sure GME has seen some decent volume, right? It's still relatively contracting volume here. Yeah, we're getting these pops, but you notice we never exceed them. So we're still coming down over time. Very interesting. Will we see a big red bar? Maybe a big green bar? We'll see. Let's look at AMC. Oh my gosh, you want to say something that's just down like this, getting tight. Remember the signal to watch for? This is the same exact signal. When that confirmed, you were starting that squeeze right here. My BlackBerry broke $4. Oh, are you trying to resell an old BlackBerry? I'm just fucking with you, Willow. I'm cringe today. Here we go. BlackBerry. BlackBerry going nutty. Nutty. That's great. Spine the Keys waking up. Finally. Yo, remember when BlackBerries were like, holy shit, that guy's high tech? Remember when you like saw your dad in his suit or in his whatever, his work attire, using a BlackBerry with like a little, maybe even a little stylus sometimes, like when it had like that little shitty touchscreen, you were just like, oh my God, my dad's high tech. Gold's moving up like I was talking about. That's because of the dollar. If you just watch the dollar, the gold does not like the dollar. So if the dollar rolls, gold can turn up. BlackBerry, I thought he was rich back in the day. Well, my dad owns a, well, back in the day, he used to, actually, he still does. What am I saying? Computer recycling company, and they trade, you know, with people all around the world, big bulk items for businesses. And so he gets access to a lot of cool stuff. So we weren't rich by any means, but we were able to get some good tech stuff back when I was younger, you know, when that was first starting to be a thing. I think my sister had a sidekick, you know what I'm saying? Who's with me on the sidekicks? Sidekicks, the slider phones. God, my dream last night, someone had a flip phone in it, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Because I can lucid dream sometimes. And I remember in my dream just laughing like, okay, this dream is stupid. Oh, I didn't like Blackberries. I liked my LG phones that had an MP3 player on the front of it where I could load 10 songs. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else have that? It had like a little play and stop and rewind button on the front with a little screen on it, and then you flip it open, chat with your friends. Oh yeah, that LG phone was dope. All right, sorry, I'm supposed to be looking at something here. I feel like I'm supposed to be looking at something. You had one of those too? That's sick, Siri. That's what's up. Let's go look at GME for fun. Still struggling a little bit. Signals look all right. SoFi, trying to get a curl up, actually. Doing pretty good, too. Able to get through the breakdown area right now, right? If you're really looking at this, you're going, where's that breakdown? Well, it's right here at these closes. You see that flush right here. You can get above that. That's a pretty good sign. Test the high, go make a new one now. Palantir, I'm a little nervous for you, bud. Too much insider selling. Gold seeing the big rip, which adds some validity to the dollar might back off here. Take a look at the flicks. I had to buy Netflix, and I feel bad, but I had to buy it. We have a show we want to watch, and it's only on Netflix. Oh, Netflix. There is something okay here, which is you're reacting back up to, say, gap fill. Then you curl down. If you can react back up after testing the, what, breakout area. I really want to watch how it behaves around this breakout area. First, looking at if this is going to be the one. The second one would be this one right here, or somewhere in this block. All right, so if I wanted to, for a short-term trade, I could take the closing of these bars. I would take the, probably not even the wick there. I would just take the low right there. And then I would say, okay, this is my little retest zone. If I can retest there, retest the 5, and then see that thing go back up, maybe we just curl down in the 30-minute for a brief period of time, right? Maybe we even do this, and then you funk around for a little bit, and then you end up curling up. That's what I would like to see going forward from Netflix. But if you want to, you can draw a little zone here. I'm just going to delete it because I can see it pretty clearly. Yeah, I mean, we wanted to watch Arcane. Arcane, great show. They're making 2 different shows now, apparently. And that's great. I love the fact that Arcane came out and all those people who watched it were like, what's League of Legends? And they all tried to play it and they realized it's one of like the hardest games to get into. 2 times yesterday at our casino, we're showing the NFL games. We don't have Netflix. Dude, whoever gave the rights to Netflix, oh God, like I get it. It's an intelligent move, but they just butchered the hell out of a, I guess, kind of big event. That Jake Paul one. Didn't they just butcher that? So, oof. Oof. Good morning, Claudio. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. Yeah, so I don't mind this look. I just more want to pay attention to if we fail all of those retests and the 2 hour starts to cross down back below the 5, we do that. That's a bad sign. That's a liquidity grab at the high. Watch out below. But this is a pretty good move, so I think you have higher probability to see a reaction from one of these areas. They did good? Okay, good, Justin. I don't know. I don't really watch the NFL too much. Just not too much. I'm trying to think. Do I want to do the... What do you guys think? Should I keep some for the squeeze play? Right now I'm playing Tina. I'm playing Tina, looking for that 47 level. That first retest of the breakdown, and then I'm going to maybe leave a contract or two to go up towards this if it can make it there. I think I might have to hold on to Tina for a bit here. Yeah, this is the trade I took. I just didn't really like the oil play as much anymore. So I got out after this curl up and fail, got out, took a little loss there, turned around and went, you know, Tina, you look cheap still. You look like you curled up on a 30-minute, giving a slight lower high. Lower high. Jesus, come on, Luke. Higher low. Slight higher low. So I'm being very cautious with it, but I'm like, hasn't crossed down yet. I haven't had to manage yet. Microsoft? Yeah, I think we're going to go over Microsoft more in the videos, guys. Maybe kind of not looking as much at AMD, but AMD has been showing some good stuff. It's reacting to a level where if it backed off for a moment, you would invite a retest of the 5 to break through this resistance up in here. Microsoft, as it stands, watch out for another dip down into our zone. Really, see how it just looks a little... This is a little bit less controlled, so I like that. So I'm really looking for if this can dip down and turn back up for something like Microsoft. I just want to be aware that Microsoft had pretty good signals for that higher low. And that's actually really good according to the RSI. Big difference there. So if this can curl down and curl back up, maybe I'm looking for a brief little thing here on just my MACD to see if that can turn back up. But if you're holding this now, like if I was holding this now, I have a 2-hour that crosses up. That's the main thing we're looking for, right? If our 2-hour crosses up, good things. If a 30-minute crosses down, potentially bad things, right? Keep it simple. Meta is the one that I really liked. I love this setup. I love it, I love it, I love it. I just took Tina instead. The 2-hour here was able to cross, and we just got that retest. That's great. We got a retest down towards 598.41 and towards that 5. So I'm really looking at this, and I'm going, hey, this might be one of those moments where it just rejects and the 30-minute goes bam like that. If we're really looking at this, I wouldn't even call this a B move. I'd just be like A, B maybe, and then C. And then that would get you to the actual place you're trying to get to. I still have the belief that you're really wanting to get to 617.67, somewhere in that area. And you really start to look at this and go, oh, okay. That looks okay, right? You can call it head and shoulders if you want. You can call it potentially cup and handle if you want. Maybe this violates that a little bit. We'll have to see. But either way, it's consolidation to head higher, right? I have 5 calls on Meta. Yeah, so you're just watching this. 30-minute curls down, bad things can happen. But if it just retests that 5 for a moment and curls back up, hey, positive territory right there. Like it. If none of that crosses down, we're sitting pretty, and you hope nothing gaps down in the morning. Wow, I was targeting 613 in Meta. Yeah, I'm targeting like 617 looks good. Now, you would say there's other hiccups you can run into, right? You have to know the hiccups, right? It's good to zoom out, look for the hiccups. That's the goal, somewhere like that. But this was a problematic area, and that's where you're at right now. Right, if you want to move that up a little bit, this was where we saw a bunch of wicks of support. So there's probably a zone right in here, and you're probably testing that zone right now. So you need to bust through that. So probably 609.85 to bust through and get to 617.82. That's just how I like to think about things. I'll give myself some levels to pay attention to. It's just I can see it. I've looked at charts for so long that I just see the levels at this point. Not a magician. I can still mark them off if I'm trading the stock, right? But I'm not necessarily trading this stock right now. Yeah, Claudio, I was really trying to help you. You came in, the first thing you said is, good morning. And of course, I'm going to try to help you out a little bit just by saying, hey, let's look at how this is behaving and see what your indicators are saying. The indicator is saying this would be risky, but it's also saying this doesn't look too bad, It wants it. Does it? Oh, does it? Oh, does it? Yeah, you have all the signals. So unless that changes by the end of the day, I'm chilling. Because remember, a 30-minute crossed up. Even though, remember what I said, one time it looked like it was crossing down. It was crossing down, and then it gapped up, and it never came back. What do? Well, we curled down. We looked like we were going down on a positive bar, right? This was a lot different before today's price action, by the way. So these were actually slightly above the 9. And now you're seeing that cross up with a gap, and then maybe that never curls back down. Wouldn't that be interesting? That's what I'd like to see. AMC up 1%. Look at that. Curling up. 2 hour. Curled up. Not positive. Daily. Not curled up. That's the ultimate signal for something like AMC. I did buy options for AMC until... let's see here. Expires. I have January 17th at this moment. But I'm going to look for potentially moving that to the end of the month. Any concerns with volume? AMC up, Blue Rich. I'm up 50%. But I don't have to do a bunch of money to make money in the play if a squeeze happens. That's why I'm not one of those guys that's going to do an option for 10K or something. I'm not that guy. Weekly curled up, about to cross on AMC. Fuck, I got a headache out of nowhere. Weekly is up by the center line. That's the main thing I want to pay attention to. I want to see if that can go positive. Right, extremely deep, consolidating, almost in a flag for a long period of time for AMC, like genuinely. This is going to be a thick line, but... See the bottom here. Okay, you exclude that wick. Let's do this. 2, 2. There you go. You're holding very, very well. Go positive. Yeah. I think I understood. I know that it's one of the two, right, Reese? I'm like, yeah, if it's already crossed, okay, then they're probably talking about positive territory. And that is something you're looking for. Just note, you know, when the big thing happened, even a while ago, you were kind of going rapidly. Like the weekly's not the best to catch the move, because look at that. Now, it ended up going higher over time, but that took more weeks. More weeks. But it was like, hey, I curled up and went positive, and then it goes, okay, now I need to consolidate. So it's better to look at like a daily here and then see the daily cross up into this and then be like, okay, good, make a decision. Oh boy. 30 minutes. Let me just zoom in on this a little bit here. But yeah, I want to see if these things can start to go positive. FFIE, look at that. Remember my short sale theory? That's the one I'm testing right now. Not bad. Keep it going, FFIE. See one of these moves for me, FFIE. I want to see this. I want to see that. That'd be sick. Because I have like $30 behind it, right? It's just a test. But it's better to test how you're going to react emotionally if you put even a little bit of money behind it, right? This is kind of like me when I first started trading, right? And I thought I knew some stuff. Okay, let me test it with small amounts of money first and see if I can build good things over time. Any concerns with volume today? As far as it goes, looks like decreasing. Well, it depends on what. It depends on what. Because volume is going to be low, right? Volume is going to be low. Like we know it's everyone's still on vacation. Everyone's pulling a Joe Biden going to the beach probably, right? So if this crosses up, even if it's on low volume, we just want to take into consideration what our indicators are telling us. Right now, we would assume, hey, a test of 602.40 makes a lot of sense. Small good decisions is key. Yeah, and that's kind of what trading is. And that's why we talk about, hey, give yourself the 1%, right? Someone, I don't remember who it was, but someone just saying just now, Oh, this is definitely going to be a rug pull like last week. Hey, okay, it can. But let's just in case we're not correct on that, let's give ourselves that 1% that we could be wrong, right? So I'm overall thinking we actually squeeze, especially if this starts to confirm down and doesn't like curl down and do some kind of double bottom here. IWM, there you go. Tina, 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 breakthrough. Don't get another handle. Don't get another handle. Sorry, we're being cringe today. My bad. Woke up and Tina looked awful. But now. Yeah, now I'll have to change that. When Trump's president, I'll say, yeah, now everyone is going to the golf course. He likes to golf, that man, huh? Come on, Tina, make me some good money. 48% as of right now on Tina. Took a shorter out option for Tina. Yo, facts, martial law, facts. Go look at Tesla. I got a 20 pack. Okay, yeah, I'll go look at Tesla. Well, what are you kind of looking for here? There's a few things that can happen. Okay, one, you're running into the wicks of the breakdown, right? We can see these wicks starting to come in. What we want to pay attention to is if that 30-minute crosses down, is that highly probable right now to go negative? Or is that a little bit of space? Well, I'd say there's a little bit of space there. So I'd more so be saying, hey, a retest of the 5, a retest of a breakout, a retest of the breakout here or here would make sense. You could make a little zone right here, right? Say it could do this, retest the 5, and then curl back up. I think that would be great. But if the 2-hour has already confirmed up, right, we want to see if this is positive in the next 23 minutes. Because if you see this go positive, you're already getting a lot of the swing trade signals to go higher. You can reload sometimes, right? That's fine. The likelihood here for Tesla, since it's been squeezing a lot, is this is the first time that it's really, I would say, seen a pullback since we started the next crazy move. And what happened the last time we saw a crazy move? Well, the 2-hour dipped down to the center line. Then you went up to the highs, you consolidate, and then you break through. So most likely we could see get up to this, consolidate, break through. That's what I'd be looking for. I'd be looking for this 2-hour to cross, make a decision, and be able to manage risk very confidently. And saying, hey, if that 30-minute crosses down, maybe I want to be careful with it. And then if it curls back up, I can be right back in. This is not curled down yet, so if that 2-hour confirms up, we can see a positive move. 470 calls for Friday? All right, we got to look at the options chain then. Uh-oh. Okay, whew. I got a notification on Twitter. Someone went live, and I was like, oh, okay. Whew. Thought that was going to be the cat. I was nervous. All right, let's see here. Tesla. Let's look at the key level for Tesla. I'm guessing we're at one. No. 450, you're above it. 460 is the next, but it's very small. 500 is what it's looking like for the end of the week. That's crazy to me. So are we going to see a boom into the end of the week? That'd be crazy. But if you lose 450, that's where it gets a little problematic. So now we can look, where is 450? So you'd want to hold 450 going into tomorrow. So if you get a retest of the 5, you want to bounce off that, and then you look pretty decent. Amazon's starting to do that too. What band do I play in? I don't play in a band. I have a what's the little the drum pad? I have a drum pad. I can sing a little bit, but whenever I sing, it's just way too on tune, so I get demonetized. Yeah, Visionary, just trying to help you out. Try to keep you calm, you know what I mean? That's the main thing. It's like, as long as if you really understand how it moves, and then you can be like, okay, 30-minute curl down. What does it look like on the MACD? What's the most likely thing to happen here? Do I need to manage my risk? All that kind of thing. Looks like GME starting to come back down again with another rejection. We'll see. Back at 250. Any more upside potential? For Apple, it's a little bit different story. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Okay, let me go to Apple. Apple, very different story for Apple, guys. Apple had a wick. If you go look at Apple, this wick is directly on the weekly expected move. So this wick exactly is where we would put a purple line, right? There's a purple line on my chart right there. That's why joining the Patreon is such a good thing, especially if you took the course, guys. The Patreon can just give you those levels of stocks to pay attention to that I like to pay attention to, and you get those levels very, very cheap. And then you go, okay, do I see a setup around those levels? Do I need to take profit around those levels? And during a move like this for Apple, it would suggest the latter, right? It would suggest, hey, this is a rapid upward move. It could fail at any point. I can always take some profit, leave some runners in case it goes nuts. Right, that's how we like to talk about those weekly expected moves. When you really understand what they are too, we explain kind of what they are and what we use to calculate them a bit. But yeah, that's a pretty crazy point to hit, honestly. So Apple already testing the weekly expected move. NVIDIA doing the backing off still. Exactly what we want. We want retests. This is the breakout area wick that we tested so far. Breakout area closing of the bar is kind of what I want to test. Wonder what this looks like. Yeah, a little 5-minute divergence to go test down in here would be nice. Then you see that 30 minutes start to curl back up. IWM, look at that thing go, 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 go. Maybe I got some oranges I could, you know, freshly squeeze for you guys. Oh, sorry. I'm being, oh, my bad, guys. A little cringe. You want a good song that I really like? I'll play it for a split second here. It says FAG in it, and I'm probably going to get demonetized if I say that on the live channel, but it's very great. They mean cigarette in the movie. Or in the movie, in the video, but it's... We've talked about it before, I think. Look up Dad Vibes by Limp Bizkit. I don't like to do that. The volume can be messed up, Suri. I like to see it in regular trading hours. I have not experimented enough with it in the post-market, pre-market type stuff, the extended hours. I have not looked at it enough to give you a conclusion. I would say if I pull up these, I like to look at 2 hours first, right? You notice the 2 hour has crossed. That brought you down to the daily expected move. If that 2 hour does confirm higher, that would suggest another upward move. Most likely this divergence would be very, very tight. So most likely if this 2 hour is able to cross for the futures, then you could see maybe even a gap up tomorrow. Because notice this, where, like here, the SPX 500, what's it testing right now? That's the breakdown area. So even though the SPY isn't at its yet, the SPX 500 is right at it. And look what happens, rejection. So if you can cross up again, that'd be a good sign. That'd be a good sign. I don't think the fight's over, but it would be a good sign. Fuck, man, I just got a headache out of nowhere. I think I slept funky. My neck hurts on the left. You know what I mean? And the reason for that is just because I don't want to tell you something if I haven't experimented with it, if I haven't tested it enough. So I like mine during regular trading hours. I think you can see things very plainly there. You won't have a lot of volume issues and things like that, because if no one's trading, you can see weird things move quicker with light volume. You guys, come on, go Tina, go. Oh wait, let's look at this. This is kind of, no, this. Check out your dad with the swag on the flow. Okay, calls starting to trickle in. Hey, HGX, the housing sector able to take back the 5 for now. Just moved sideways, took back the 5. Looking for rejection, honestly, but hey, it's taking back the 5 now. TIA. Still in the sell zone. I might have to go get some. Oh shit, it's 10:15. The lucky part for you guys. The lucky part is tomorrow I should have a bunch of time in the morning. So I might be able to stream for an extra hour in the morning tomorrow. But I do have to think about what I have going on today. We still have my brother's in town, so I want to see him as much as possible. I don't get to see my brother too much. Ooh, what could I do with Tina? Okay. Soon I could sell one contract and take my risk out. Get lucky with Luke. Yo, get lucky. I'll tell you guys my casino strategies sometimes. Right? My probability plays at casinos. My wife went with her friend and she goes, I don't know how to gamble. I go, do this every single time and do this if you lose, do this if you win, and then you'll walk out with probably double your money. And then she goes, okay. And she just bet $20, I think 7 times, walked out with $240. Count cards? No, I don't count cards. I kind of understand counting cards, but once you add too many decks to it, I get bored. The thing about counting cards for me is, like, I've tried to do it from time to time, but for me, I'm too easily distracted. So I have to come up with something way simpler. I'm too easily distracted. So I'll sit there and, like, someone will say something to me, I'll not see 3 cards, and then I'll look back and be like, shit. All right, guys. Well, this is a moment in time where I do have to hop off. It is past my time that I was supposed to hop off, but I was just enjoying my time with you guys, enjoying a little that Merry Christmas feel while it's still lasting. And then we got New Year's coming up. But tomorrow we will be looking at doing a little bit more extended live stream in the morning, possibly all the way till lunchtime. So thank you guys so much for being here today. I do appreciate it. Look at us. We are very, very close to 10K, and that's all because of you guys liking these videos, watching to the end, commenting your thoughts, and maybe even sharing it with friends, and I think that's fantastic. So for now, if you guys want to learn throughout the Christmas season, if you have a little bit more time to yourself over the weekend, maybe, I know families in town and things like that, spend time with family, but the courses are on sale down in the description for the Christmas and New Year's sale. Hey, thank you guys so much for joining today. I do appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day trading. Make sure to manage risk at all times with this kind of market, but I think we're going to be just fine. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Peace out. Xena got 35% return. Let's go. Hey, I'm happy for you, Lucas. That's awesome. I'm sorry I'm peacing out right when you get here, but I love your name. All right. Have a good one. Congratulations, Lucas. That's fantastic. Proud of you. Peace out. And I'm going to leave it on so you guys can chat. If you guys want to chat for a little bit, I'm going to leave it on for like 10 minutes. I'm going to go wake up my daughter and come back, and then I'll turn it off. But if you guys want to chat for a little bit, do your thing. Peace out.